Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today I'm going to be playing another live game for you, and this time around it's going to be a Zerg versus Terran on Orbital Shipyard. Now, I'm kind of feeling like playing Nydus Worm lately against Terran, and let me try and explain to you why. So there's been a bunch of strategies that have been going around in Legacy of the Void, and it seems that you can counter pretty much all of them by going for 2-base Nydus as Zerg. We'll have to see if this is going to be a possibility. Let me check my ping really quickly. We do have a ping of 150 right now, which actually is pretty important right here, because the idea is that if you're gonna go for a Nydus Worm in the opponent's main base, you need to get Queens in there and actually have transfuse ready to go. And there's been a bunch of games where I've attempted this game or this sort of strategy with a ping of over 300, and you simply click the transfuse button, but it doesn't actually carry over. So we're gonna have to see if we can make it work in this one. So the idea behind this strategy, once again, is to put the Nydus in the opponent's main base and start making roaches as well as queens, and we simply pop them out in his main base before he can really do anything about it. Obviously, I'm gonna have to check out whether or not he goes for any kind of super greedy third play, and I'm still gonna have to get the early game zergling speed and whatnot to deal with any kind of potential Reaper aggression. But I think we should be okay with giving this a try. Just to see if we can make it work. So 150 ping, definitely something I can be working with right here. So, spawning pool is already going up right now. We're gonna have to get about 4 queens out, and then I want to be starting up the lair. So I do want to start up a little bit of a later lair. And the nice thing about this build is that it basically counters any kind of, Liberator aggression, even Banshee aggression, even like the standard Roach Hellion stuff. Or the standard Hellion Banshee stuff, just because all the Terran players are playing a little bit too greedy in Legacy of the Void, usually with that third command centers, getting those way earlier than they can in Heart of the Swarm. In Heart of the Swarm, you don't really have any ways of pressuring it, for the simple reason that the Nydus Worm can be attacked while it's still building, but obviously in Legacy of the Void, the Nydus Worm is invulnerable until it is 100% deployed. Gonna be going for the zergling speed right here, pulling one drone out of the gas geyser, just to delay that zergling speed to delay that that gas production slightly. He is not getting an add-on yet, but that is a marine who should be able to get out of there just fine. And I'm gonna be queuing up 2 more queens right here, just to make sure that I get those as early as possible. Okay, so he is indeed adding on 2 marines right now, but also adding on that reactor. That reactor is gonna be a pretty big tell that he's gonna be switching into Hellions relatively shortly, so the 4 queens are gonna be very important. Crew spread is also much faster in Legacy of the Void than it is in Heart of the Swarm. So that's something to keep in mind here as well. We will get roughly 100 gas right when these 2 queens finish up, which is exactly what I was looking for. I do have one Zergling spotting his base right now. There we go. Gonna be starting up the lair. And I'm also gonna be starting up the Roach Warren right now. So a little bit of an earlier Roach Warren, but it should be good. My opponent's actually going to be scouting. Do not want to have him see that I'm going to go for such a fast lair. Although he may already be predicting it, but if I can at all avoid it, I will give that a try. And I'm going to be flying in an Overlord right now as well. And I'm going to be adding on 2 more gas geysers. The gas geysers are going to be necessary in order to make the Nydus Worm, as well as everything else. Okay, that is a tech lab right there on a barrack, so he's not going to have that many units. And I already have the queens sitting on the ramp right now to block any kind of potential Hellion run-bys. I am saving up gas on them right now. You can see there's actually already a 3rd command center done. So very greedy play by my opponent, giving me a very, very good opportunity here to give this build order a try. Gonna be producing extra queens right now. Honestly, should have started with that a little bit earlier. Already have 50 energy saved up on those 2 queens right here, but I'm gonna be starting up my Nydus Worm right around right here. It's a place he can't really scout it very easily. And we may as well add on another queen as well as another gas geyser. I'll add on 3 more drones for that gas. And I'm gonna be starting up only roaches right now. Don't really need any of the upgrades. And as you can see, there's no way he would have been scanning on my Nydus Worm. My Nydus Worm, is not scanned right now. He doesn't see any upgrades. He doesn't even see the Roach Warren, I don't think. And even if he does see it, it doesn't really tell him all that much. Okay, adding on more queens. Just keep producing more and more of them. I haven't actually seen any kind of Hellion play, which is a little bit weird. He could be going for Massive Liberator, which I haven't been seeing too much of. Which would actually be kind of good against this, I think. Anyway, so one thing to keep in mind about Nydus play If you put in the queens first, they will also pop out first. So here we go. I'm gonna be putting it right on top of his production. If I can find it, that is. He's adding on tech labs right now and all that stuff. I'm gonna put it right there. Okay, get in there, boys. Okay, here we go. Nydus Worm is about to spawn in the main base. He doesn't even have any units here yet. I need to hit the transfuse beautifully in order to make it work, but he isn't even here. He isn't even paying attention to it. Alright, transfuse, transfuse. Transfuse the thing. Don't let it die, Lowko. Don't let it die. Transfuse. Gotta put up a backup one in the main base right now as well. Still deploying more and more units. Got my Nydus Network rally to with my hatcheries, and we are killing him from the inside out. And my opponent, somehow, some way, wasn't really feeling that. So this is what happens when you play very greedy with a third command center in Zerg versus Terran. And also, if you're not really scouting very heavily, he did spend one scan right there, missed the Nydus Worm, didn't see anything, didn't even go for any kind of Hellion play early on either. And we ended up just murdering him from the inside out, which honestly works very, very often. As long as you're actually managing to hit that first transfuse in time. And obviously, if your opponent is going to have siege tanks or something, you have basically only about, you know, 0.3 seconds or something to react with the ping of less than 200. You will be able to make that, but you need to basically click the Nydus, unload the Nydus, click the queen, hit the transfuse button, transfuse, click the queen again for the second transfuse from the other queen, and eventually you will be able to keep it alive. This is going to be a very powerful build if Terran players are going to open up as greedy as they were in Heart of the Swarm. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one.